Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Let's learn computer science. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are going to start with Unit 4 Processor Fundamentals. And in this video, you learn about show understanding of basic von Neumann model for a computer system and the stored program concept. So let's begin. Before we begin, let me ask you a question. Imagine you want to use your laptop to watch YouTube. A few minutes later, you want to play a game. Then you want to type an assignment in Word. Do you think you need to open your laptop and physically change the wires every time you want to perform a different task? Of course not, right? But early computers, they were not as flexible as the computers we use today. So, today we are going to learn about a kind of revolutionary idea that changed computing world forever. The von Neumann architecture and the stored program concept, right? First of all, let's understand how did early computers work. Early computers, they were very different from the computers we use today. They used to be very big machines which used to produce a lot of heat, in which data was fed while it was running. Programs, they couldn't be stored in the computer memory. Data couldn't be stored in the computer memory. And they used to require a lot of human intervention. And to perform a particular task, the computer often had to be manually reconfigured. Very different than today's computer that we are using these days. So these were some of the characteristics of early computers. Okay. And what were the problems with the early computers because of these features? Very slow in operation, and they used to require constant human intervention. And of course, because of all this, it was very difficult to change the program, the current running program. And they were not flexible, or they were not very flexible to use for general purpose. So clearly, a better solution was needed, right? And then in the mid 1940s, there was a mathematician named John Von Neumann. He proposed a new design for computers. His idea became the foundation of almost every modern computer system. Today we call it the von Neumann architecture. And the amazing thing is that even modern laptops, smartphones, tablets, and gaming consoles still follow this basic idea, which was given by John von Neumann. Now, what is the von Neumann architecture? According to von Neumann, a computer should have a processor, we call it central processor, CPU, and processor should have direct access to the memory. Memory contains a stored program which can be replaced by another at any time, and the data required by the program. The stored program consists of individual instructions, and the processor executes instructions sequentially. Okay, so as per von Neumann, a computer should have a central processing unit, memory, input devices, output devices, and most importantly, the processor should be able to directly access memory. And memory should have both program instructions as well as data. And this was a game-changing idea. This is von Neumann architecture. Have a look at this picture. There is a processor called CPU. CPU has so many other things interlinked. It has control unit, it has a system clock, it has arithmetic logic unit, it has so many registers, direct access to memory. Then there are input devices, there are output devices, there are buses, address bus, data bus, and control bus. All these are components of CPU. We'll learn about all these components in my later videos. However, as of now, what you need to understand is that as per von Neumann architecture, there is a CPU, a processor is required, CPU should have direct access to memory, and there is a stored program concept, of course, right? Now, I have just created a table where you can very clearly understand how von Neumann architecture is different from early computers. So, if you look here, this side is for early computers and this side is for von Neumann architecture. So in early computers, program could not be stored. However, in von Neumann architecture, programs are stored in memory. Here, data also could not be stored, but in von Neumann architecture, data is stored in memory. Early computers, they required human intervention. Von Neumann architecture, instructions are executed automatically. Here in early computers, it was difficult to change tasks. They were less flexible. However, von Neumann architecture, programs can be changed easily and they are more flexible and can be used for general purpose. Right? So that's how early computers are different from von Neumann architecture. And there sometimes I have seen some questions where they have very clearly asked questions about how is stored program concept or how is von Neumann architecture different from early computers? So this will help you answering those type of questions, right? And here from exam point of view, if you see, the biggest improvement was the ability to store programs inside memory. So this is the biggest change. Early computers, they didn't have this power to store programs or data, right? Now, what is the stored program concept? Sometimes they do ask questions on this as well, right? So you need to understand the program instructions and the data required by those instructions are stored together in the same memory. So program instructions and the data, both are stored together in the same memory. That is called stored program concept. This means program are stored in memory, data is also stored in memory, CPU fetches the instructions directly from the memory, and programs can be replaced or modified easily. This is very, very important to understand because there are past paper questions on this. So I have put one question for you from October, November 2022. They are very clearly asking, state what is meant by stored program concept in the von Neumann model of computer system. And it is of 1 mark. So you can very clearly write instructions and data are stored in the same memory space or in the main memory. You'll get 1 mark if you write this, that instructions and data are stored in the memory. Okay. So that's all for today. In next class, we will learn about components of CPU plus what are registers in von Neumann architecture. Till then, take care. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.